Good afternoon, everybody. I'm attorney L. Chris Stewart, along with attorney Nathan Hoffman of Stewart Miller Simmons Trial Attorneys. We are proudly representing Sarah McKinnon, the mother of Jayden McKinnon. This is the first time that she will be speaking about the murder of her son that occurred at Willowest Apartments in Lindbergh. And sadly, our firm is doing this too often, representing families of a victim of murder because an apartment complex fails to provide security again and again. This is an epidemic in Georgia and a lot of other states. I've said this before, and these companies are not listening. They are not providing working security at apartment complexes. That is why Atlanta has so much crime at apartments. All of our experts, all of the police, everybody is saying easy targets are broken gates. And that is what happened on this day. Jayden McKinnon, a fantastic young man, dog walker, French bulldog breeder, dog lover. He was murdered while walking his two beloved French bulldogs, one which was taken along with his wallet, along with his phone and keys when he was robbed and shot and killed, all because the broken gates at Willowest Apartments. Not only was the entrance gate broken, the security arm was missing, and we have also learned that the entire front gate had been broken for weeks, maybe months. And shockingly, after he was murdered, it was fixed the next day. The next day, they came out and fixed the security gates and had private security, which was supposed to already be there, working after her son was murdered. This could have been anybody walking their dog. This could have been any complex in Atlanta or any other city that doesn't provide security. And the only time they wake up, and we do these cases a lot, is with a lawsuit, which we filed this morning in Gwinnett County. And sadly, money won't bring back her son, but by putting the word out to apartment complexes that you must ensure the safety of the people who are paying you rent, maybe something will change. Maybe. So that's what we're trying to do today. But we can't do that unless we show you what's really going on. This is after the murder. We went out and walked right through the gate. And we're in the complex. And the street is right there. Any predator can just walk right in. And most predators know when the gates aren't working. And that's what happened here. The assailant drove right through the broken gate and murdered Jayden, taking his dogs. Thankfully, Ms. McKinnon now has possession of the dogs. The police were able to recover. But we wanted to tell you how this could have been prevented. Broken gates are the biggest security threat at apartment complexes. Easy access for predators around, and that's why so much crime happens there. Companies have to put safety over profits. And the biggest unspoken thing that is happening is this is happening predominantly at minority complexes. I know that's not supposed to be said, but I pretty much say whatever is going on. Minority complexes get ignored because companies care less, plain and simple. This isn't happening in well-off areas around our city. There's security there. The gates work. But in most of the cases we have, they are minority complexes and they are in shambles because the companies are not spending money to protect their residents because no one's complaining. That's what we're here for. And it's going to stop. as the community finally speaks out. Ms. McKinnon, I want you to briefly speak.
So right before I moved into Willowest, I was reassured by one of the leasing people that the gates will stay broke and that we will have security if the gate are not broke. And from May all the way up until August, the gate stayed broke, and I can count security on my one hand. And also I did my own investigation where we was not receiving mail from the time I moved in from May all the way until August to come find out that the cameras, they refused to fix the cameras and that the mailbox was being broken into. So the post office refused to deliver mail until Willowest did they part, and they refused. So we was not receiving mail for the 3 to 4 months that I was living there. So I would have to go to the post office or send my mail to someone else to pick up my mail. Like I said, I was reassured that I was going to be in a safe place. I'm a single mother and I work 2 jobs to bring my son to a safe place. And unfortunately, they failed him, they failed me, and my son was killed at the age of 22. He was never going to be able to see or do what he wanted to do with rap career, trucking company. He had so many dreams that he wanted to do, breed our dogs, and now he won't be able to do it because they failed us in keeping us safe in our own complex. So that's all I have to say.
Brief questions.
Ms. McKinnon, I just have to know what goes through your mind knowing that simply a secured gate could have saved your son's life, that this could have been prevented?
A lot of what ifs. What if I would have stayed home that day? But then people say it could have been me. Maybe if I didn't move him down here, because we did move from Jersey, so I blame myself for a lot of this. Maybe if I would have investigated and went to a different complex, maybe I shouldn't have moved there. So there's a lot of what ifs with me, and I blame myself. So right now I have survival more, what's that called? Survival remorse, because I wish it was me instead of my son.
And your thoughts and feelings towards those who should have had that property properly secured but did not?
I blame them a lot because they, first of the month or 3 days before rent due, they send us a text message that, rent is due. They so wanting their money, but yet they're not doing their part in keeping us safe. So right now, I feel like they just money hungry, and they didn't really care about their tenants.
Did they make any effort to contact you after your son was murdered?
Well, they saw me outside, and that's when someone came over there and said sorry. But other than that, no, not really. Then I had to go over there to tell them I wanted to break my lease. And so, no, not really. No one from the higher up ever contacted me to say that they were sorry for my son's loss.
Prior to this incident, were you aware of any work orders or anything to try and get the gate fixed? It was mentioned that it had been broken for quite some time.
No, I didn't know any work orders. And tell you the truth, some of the people that work there also live there. So you'll think that they know that the gates are broke. So they should be keeping up on it also.
What's been the response from some of your neighbors living there after this?
I moved out after it happened, so I haven't talked to any neighbors. Well, I know my next door neighbor right before after it happened, she moved out, and I think a couple other people moved out when it happened, and they apologized.
Before you moved out, were there complaints about the complex in general from the general sentiment?
No, because I basically stayed to myself, so I just, went to work and came home, so I didn't really talk to a lot of people there.
I think this is a big response will be for Mr. Stewart. What's been the response so far from the property management?
We'll find out because they have to respond to this lawsuit. Like I said, nobody's reached out directly to talk to her about what happened. And we'll find out, of course, there are probably countless complaints about the gate. But what happens a lot in these situations is you keep complaining about something and it doesn't get fixed, so you just shut up. You just go about your daily life of, look, the gate is broken, and you accept that that's life. That's not life. You don't just accept that my gate is broken, that anybody can just come in here at night. We've already tracked numerous crimes that were happening on the property. So it's not that they weren't aware. This isn't some random incident. There were crimes happening at the complex. We already have them. So they'll find out in litigation, and the only truth you ever get is in the court of law, sadly. So we'll get justice for Jayden. Thank y'all.